Assalamualaikum and welcome to a new video in the tools series. So in today's video we're going to talk about metal pens. I know I've made videos before about metal pens, but today's video is going to be slightly a bit different because we are going to look into more than one type. They're all the same method of making, but I thought to myself, well, I might as well just go through them quickly. So the first type that we're going to look into are these ones that we've already done. So you get these normal sort of cartridge pens that look like this, and you sand them in order to make them fit for calligraphy. The thing that you need to double check are the tip up here. As you can see, this doesn't have long distance, so like long space up here, so you are governed with like 2mm or 3mm of size. So it'll work fine, it'll be really good, but you need to check for that because it's a bit curvy up to the top, so you need to check that before you go and buy the pen itself. I didn't do this because this is a pilot pen, I really like it, so I just keep it for writing in English, so that's on the side. Meanwhile, these ones, the ones that I've talked about before, are sort of good for making cheap pens. You could get these like really cheap, and they come flat on the side back here, so this will be quite helpful if you were planning on making them for Arabic calligraphy. You get like those two are the same size, so you will see here that if you want a bigger size you will have to drag the tip backwards. So as you can see, both of them are the same size, but the one on the right is 2mm, the one on the left is 1mm, and I had to sand more of the one on the right in order to make it sort of fit for bigger sizes. And again, with regards to the angle, you will see that the angle on the right is quite sort of vertical and sharp. Meanwhile, the one on the left is more of a naskh thing, so keep an eye on that with regards to sanding. Therefore, you should start with the cheap types like these ones. Then you could go on and get more expensive ones, because there are things out there that are made in Germany that are really good. They got really amazing ink flow. Now with these, you would get usually a cartridge that comes into them, but I just take that one out and I would just use it as a dip pen. You could use either methods. Just make sure that the ink you fill these with sort of certifies and like sort of suits them. You could also sort of take this part off the inside by just simply dragging it out and taking the tip here out. This also comes off, and you could clean it from time to time. You have to clean it actually, especially this inside part back here. And again, for those of you who watched the previous videos, you could use the piece that comes with the pilot parallel pen to clean these, or you could just use an X-ray thing that will fit in there. If you couldn't find any of those, like, don't bother yourself, just do a general water cleaning just to keep them rolling, because if you had ink clotting in it, it will start to sort of play and not write properly. The next would be the ready-made ones, and these are sort of made by some companies. This one is Standard Graph. It comes with an angle cut, like it also comes with several sizes, and the sizes are really small and really neat for naskh. You will need to sort of perfect the tip up here because it's commercial and you want it to feel good on the paper, so you might want to do some work on the tip up here, but I really like it. It has a really good flow to it, and it's a really good brand, to be honest with you. So yeah, you could get these that are ready for Arabic calligraphy. There are also some Chinese brands out there. They are cheaper, but again, if you could find this one, it's not a big difference, I guess. Start with these ones because they're really good. Again, these come with a cartridge, and they also come with a cartridge that you can fill, like this one. You just drag this back and you could fill it with whatever ink you want it to fill. But even if you've got these sort of around, you don't need to throw them away. You could go and get something, or a syringe, because personally I use I think it's something for makeups. So yeah, I've got this thing. So this fit easily into the syringe, and it fits easily into the cartridge, but it's not sort of pointy up here. So no danger of keeping it around. I don't like syringes because they are really dangerous to work around with. So yeah, you just use this to fill your cartridge. So make sure to get one of those instead of buying cartridges if you've got bottles of ink laying around. So yeah, this is similar to the previous one, but this one comes cut in the Arabic calligraphy cut from the factory. Those are the pens that you can close. You can carry them around with you. They're really neat. They're really good. I use them all the time. And I like metal pens generally. The second thing again is the parallel pen. We've seen this before. Go back and watch the video about them. The same method, the same way of doing it. These are the ones that I use to make the classes with. They are neat. They are really lovely. Just check the price in your country because they really vary in price. Like in some places they are double the price for some reason. So check these before. They work perfect with the Sumi ink, with all types of inks, to be honest with you. They are easy to clean. They come with a really nice pack, and you could go and check the video. I'll put a link to it on the right, I guess. The ones that I want to talk to you about are actually these ones that you get nibs for. So these are handles. They are sold separately from the nibs. I've got those two as a gift. I got this one also as a gift. I bought these three from different places. The nibs themselves, like this one came with the pen itself. This one is from Italy, handmade, and it's really delicate. It's for English calligraphy. The others are also for English calligraphy, but I modified a few of them, a couple of them, to be used for Arabic calligraphy. Now, with regards to the, again, standard graph, the brand, so the handles come in different brands. They have really good weight to them. So if you found any of these ones, I advise you to buy them. They are really kind of, not rare, but find it a bit hard sometimes to find them. This one is, I think, more available out there. It's cheaper. I'm not really a fan of it, but I thought, well, I have to buy it in a way or another. The nibs themselves, they come in different shapes and sizes, and the main thing you need to focus on is the ductility of them. So here I've got this one that is made for Gothic scripting. So it came with a straight cut, but I've sanded it to be an Arabic calligraphy one. And it comes with this piece too, because in English calligraphy you would use ink without that thing we put in inkwell for Arabic calligraphy. So this will hold the ink back here, and while writing it will just, you will have a good flow of ink. It comes in different sizes. Again, tape. I think this is made in England. It's really good. I like it. Don't use it that much because I've got the other pins there. Meanwhile, this one, now as you can see, when you press on it, it really opens like immediately. You don't have to press a lot for it to open. So this might make, you might struggle with it in Arabic calligraphy, because in English calligraphy you will have this sort of delicate touch to it. It will give you this thick part really quickly. So if you were to write with this, like for English calligraphy, it will give you like a really thin line, but when you slightly press on it, it will give you slightly thicker line. So with quick writing, it will give you this nice effect for the text itself. And it's really nice for English calligraphy, but in Arabic calligraphy, when you want to press on the pen, you don't want it to change sizes that much, or at all actually. You want some ductility in it, so make sure to press on the nib before you buy it, to make sure that it doesn't open that much. So this one opens a lot. Meanwhile, if you went back to other nibs, such as this one, it doesn't open at all, as you can see here. So this would be a good base for it. The second note would be the curvature. So this one is quite curvy. So when you end up trying to make it for Arabic calligraphy, it will not work because you won't have a straight sort of end for it. So avoid this and avoid the one that opens. Go for something that is flat, just like this one. This one is flattish. It's really wide. It gives you really good sizes. With the steel pens, you don't really need that much of a distance back there. They come with existing sort of a small, I guess, ditch in the middle here for the ink flow. So you go for this one. You got this too, small one here for smaller scripts if you want. The length of it, well, it depends. It's up to you. If you feel comfortable writing with short nibs, that would be fine. But longer nibs give you more delicate scripts, and it's actually a whole sort of a big topic to discuss, because in some scripts you need a long nib, in other scripts a shorter one would work better. So you've got your nib here, it is fitted. You want to make a pen out of it. As previously mentioned, you get back to the sanding paper. You've got several sizes of it. This one is 2000, which is the softest. You've got 1200, you've got 400. For metal pens, you would start with something that is in the thousands, or like in the 400, let's say. So you start with the 400. Now this one is sort of already made, but I want to make the angle better than this. So what you will have to do is start sanding, and I'm going to mute this part because it's really loud. So as you can see here, done a bit of sanding for it. It is already making a better angle. This is the space that I've used. I'm going to continue a bit more with it. And you can actually add some water or some liquid to it so that it will be easier, and you would avoid the harmful sort of particles to fly in, and you would breathe them by accident. So here I've got my angle that I want to work with. Doing it on the quite rough one, so you will have the rough edges on the right and the left, and when you write with it, it might cut through the paper. So you will go down to a finer grade, which will be bigger in number. So this one is 1200, and you would do the same thing for it, just moving about. And you don't do a lot of it, it's just to sort of make the pen smoother. When you write on the paper, you want it to feel comfortable. You don't want it to feel like a knife cutting through the paper, because it does feel like a knife when you have a very sharp metal pen. Then you move on to a softer one, the 2000. If you got 4000, that would be perfect. So you go down to the 2000 and you would start to sand it. So what these, the softer papers, what they do basically is that they make the movement of the pen on the paper really smooth, and that's what you want in an Arabic calligraphy pen. So of course you will have to check the size of the pen and just do the measurements that you want it to be with, and this way you will get yourself a nice metallic pen. Now with regards to the tip here, it sort of hits and it stops, so obviously you would go back to the sanding paper and do the same moves that you do on a paper to write, but do it on the sanding paper in order to get a smoother part of that area that you want to work with. So you do a couple of these up here. You would obviously get rid of the sharp edge on top and on the bottom of the pen by sanding it for a bit, not for a lot, because you want it to keep its rectangularity, I guess, its rectangular shape, but you don't want it to be sort of sharp as a knife. So you would come back and try your pen. Yeah, that looks good. you would keep trying it, try writing with it. So I'm writing Bismillah. When you feel comfortable with it, yeah, just, I guess, memorize what size it is, so you don't change them about, or you just make sure that you know your pens. Another thing with regards to the pens themselves, so this one is a bit dirty, so what I could do is simply get the 2000 and sand it a bit from this side so that it will sort of clean. So you will see that there are some areas that need cleaning, and you can actually use the sanding paper in order to get rid of these particles, because some of them are made out of metal, like iron and stuff like that, and they will corrode. So you want to make sure that you get rid of the corrosion in those pens. Others are made out of copper, that's why some of them are really expensive, so don't mind that. So these are the ones that you can use, sanding them, and then just finding the right touch of them. Don't buy these ones for Arabic calligraphy. They are really hard to make, because this one is made for English calligraphy, but you can't make it into an Arabic cut because it is made for that one. There are Arabic ones that are made exactly the same way, but they already come with an angle. I've used them, but they are not really as good as the normal ones. Like, this is supposed to sort of hold the ink back here and it will flow, but I've tried them and for me they didn't work. Might be good for someone else, so yeah. This is with regards to the metal pens. You've got several types out there. Go out and discover, you could buy them. As we said, for these ones you will buy the nibs by themselves, and you can easily just have one handle and just take this one out and fit whatever you want to fit with it. And if you also had a trouble storing these nibs, what I do is I got one of these small packs. I think they are for cards, like business cards and stuff. So I simply open this, put them in here, close them, and I carry the box with me. But generally I keep them fitted to the handles themselves. So here are the metal pens that you could work out there with. Get these ones, of course. The other types you could just rely on these ones, and instead of buying them. I hope this video was informative. I wanted to make a video about metallic pens better than the one before, because I wanted to talk about these ones, what to look for and what to avoid, and what types to sort of try and get your hands on. The cheapest, and you have the ability to work on the tip itself, on the nib itself, so you can do whatever you want to do with them. So start with these. If you want to go up the ladder a bit, go for these ones, because they are similar to these ones. Next you would go for the bigger one, which is the parallel pen. Finally, if you were able to find ones like this, or actually you can make one like this using a sort of a tin or like a fizzy drink can, but that's dangerous, so might look into it in the future, but I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, I hope this was an informative video with regards to the sanding. Again, check the video up there, and you should own one of these metallic pens. They are really helpful and really good to work with and write with. This has been Ammar Al-Mawdi. Like, share and subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about calligraphy, and see you in the next video. Have a lovely day, evening or night. Goodbye.